my name is Leo, and then basically I do a bunch of technology art stuff that is related to music and audio reactive. Yeah. So this is a software that is called Touch Designer, and then I am routing it to the Logic Pro X, and then yeah. So there's a plugin that somebody developed, and then and it is called mediapipe. So basically what it does is that it captures everything, every posture that an animal, a human being, that does towards the camera. So, and then it can change these numbers, and then pick up these numbers, and then I make them into the MIDI output. So that is basically how I am sending signals to Logic Pro. So what I'm doing in this project is that I'm controlling the MIDI output using two hands. So basically this is my first hand that is showing up on the camera, and then you can see that the pinching of my first hand, it actually triggers the first track. Then the first track I am using a transposer. That way whenever I am sending like random MIDI notes, it can like snap it into the notes that I wanted it to play. And then I'm using this Vital free synth plugin. Yeah. So basically what it does is, yeah, it sends random MIDI signals using this one, and then you can see that yeah, the numbers here is constantly changing. So the numbers indicates that it sends different pitch. It sends different notes into the MIDI signal, and then I'm using different MIDI channels, so that way it won't control the two signals at the same time. And then the second one, I'm using the second hand pinch. And then what it does is that you can see that there is another track that I have been like cycled through, so I can pause it and it will do nothing. Yeah. So yeah, it plays a long note, and then what does it do? It basically changes the value of this one. So it is kind of like the cutoff of the the synth. And then okay, so let me demonstrate it. Yeah. Yeah. And you can see that not only that I use the MIDI signal to trigger the Logic Pro, I also made some visual stuff to as a visual feedback to those things that I'm doing towards the camera. Yeah, so the first hand, I've got these dots that just looks like magic. And I think that really suits the arpeggiator really well. Yeah. Yes. And then so that it suits it really well. And then the other hand, for the visual part, because it controls the cutoff, so I think that what really suits it is that the image is being more exposed. I don't know, more lightened. Yeah, basically it's like that. So what this project is trying to do is that I want this project to be interacted by 2 people. Yeah. So basically when 2 people are playing with this project, this track will not be a cycle like playing along notes, and instead it will be like maybe one person will actually be playing the keys on the piano. So I've got a launch pad over here, and then I can toggle the notes that I desire that I wanted it to play. Yeah, so because I have written it in F major, so this is what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so and the other person will be playing the 2 hands onto the camera, and then one hand will be playing the arpeggiator, and then the other hand will be affecting the person that is playing the piano part. Yeah, the pad part. Yeah, actually, and then I can change different notes. I actually find it kind of beautiful. So yeah, that's basically my project. So this is the other project that I'm working on. So basically I have the Vital synth over in the Logic Pro, and then over here this is the Minimeter. And then basically what it does is that, oh my goodness. So yeah. Like, yeah, so it does have a lot of things that basically this software is for mixing purpose. Yeah, so we've got a lot of different showcases. But this is not the point. I found that over here, this one, the stereo meter, mainly this is actually a way to check that if the audio does have the stereo output, or is it actually just mono. Yeah, so I've changed over to one of the settings, and then I found that actually, yeah, I've got a simple sine wave over here, and so I toggle a note using my launchpad, and then I use my Korg Nano Control 2 to control the there are two parameters over here, and basically it controls the detune. Yeah, so one is the unison, how many notes I'm controlling, and the other is that how far away they are from each other. So now it is only one note, but so I change it into two notes and then make them more and more far away from each other. So yeah, I can see that there's like a circle that is spinning, and then as I increase making them more and more far apart from each other, yeah, I can create this kind of pattern. It's like it's spinning, and then it now looks like it is a 2D square, which is pretty cool. And then different octaves actually have a different effect. Basically, it is like actually spinning faster, and it's kind of beautiful. Yeah, and lower octaves make the lines more clear. Yeah, so that is only unison 2. What if I increase it into unison 3? So now it is actually spinning on 2 different axes. It's actually kind of like a 3D, or more like something like 4D, because it actually shrinks and then pops out again. Yeah, I actually don't know how to explain that, but actually here comes something cool. When I increase, it kind of looks like it is generating something, and it's actually, and then the more I increase it, it actually kind of like spins. It spins. Yes. And then the distant apart each note actually affects how the spinning frequency, the spinning speed. And also let me demonstrate a lower octave. the line becomes more clear. Actually pretty cool. Yeah, and then actually the more unison it has, it actually generates a much something that I cannot explain. Kind of just looks like chaos. Yeah, it kind of generates a more complicated pattern. Now I'm increasing the unison, the notes that has been played. And then now the notes are actually close to each other, and the pattern, the shapes, becomes kind of more comprehensible. So what I'm thinking about it is like, basically this thing, we don't usually think of it for using like audio reactive performance, but by using a basic sine wave, it actually, I can control it pretty well. I can do what I want it to do. Yeah, it becomes actually controllable, which is kind of insane. And then that is only the first part. What is really interesting is that when I introduce the different intervals, it actually turns into different shapes, and those shapes are actually pretty comprehensible. Let me explain. Yeah, so basically when I have an octave, this is just a single note, and then octave. Now it does nothing, but let me make it somehow spin. Yeah, just like what I do previously. Yeah, just let it spin. And then let me do an octave. It actually looks like something between a cauliflower or a heart shape. I can't tell what that is. It's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the octave interval, and let me do the fifth. It kind of looks like, sometimes it turns into a flower, and sometimes it looks like a heart shape inside a circle. Then let me do, this is the fourth interval. So these are actually less complicated patterns, but look at this. It becomes more complicated. The less distance the interval are close to each other, it becomes more and more complicated. This is actually pretty cool. Yeah, this is the fifth. So what happens when I play a major chord? This is the fifth interval, and then this is the third, and then I combine to each other. It becomes like this. I can make it spin faster or slower. This is actually minor third, and then less complicated. Now it kind of in like a star, yeah. So what I was trying to say about controlling it is that I can actually pre-program the thing that I want it to do, and then when I am actually playing the track, I don't let this thing, the audio part, play out of like the speaker now I'm using. Instead, I maybe let it send into like this is the Mac, so I've got black hole over here. Yeah, so there is something that is called black hole, and then let the Minimeter, the software, receive the black hole, and then so I can control what this software, the audio reactive part, is doing, and then playing it actually on beat, because this is a DAW, this is Logic Pro, so I can program it actually on beat pretty easily, and then yeah. So basically this is it. So this is a brief example that I programmed actually. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you.